Okay, so coming out of my garage, this is part of my driveway front yard, and this was all covered in pine needles. I trimmed these cypress bushes and got down in there before you couldn't even see the ground. It was like 6 inches of pine needles. You can see over the edge. We're working on that. There's piles of pine needles down there and we're burning. So over here is the pile of cypress I cut. Right here, we're gonna have to haul it off to the landfill, I don't know what it's called, the place where you take bushes. So I trimmed all this and I climbed inside of there and pulled out piles of pine needles, dead bushes with my hands. I had to go buy new gloves today. I had to get up under the propane tank. Like you couldn't even see the ground. Over here, there was this crazy huge bush. You again couldn't see the ground, couldn't see those rocks, couldn't see anything. I found this stump that was in there and it was just dead, hanging out in there. So here's some of the debris I pulled out. There's some of the cypress. There's weeds, dead pine needles, all kinds of stuff everywhere. If you walk further up the hill behind my house, we have this additional area for parking. We're going to put the kids' swing set up here. We have raked it several times. Like here's a little pile we started. But all of these pine needles here, that's the neighbor's problem. It's a little crazy. Let's see if I can show you how deep this is. Let's look. Can you see this? Look at this. No, this is no joke. Ready? There's still more. These pine needles are mulched. So this is the problem. I mean, do you see how deep that is? That's like almost as tall as my hand. So that is on our side of the fence. And around the fence, there's pine needles back there. That's probably at least 12 inches deep. There's more pine needles here. We're gonna put the swing set up here. There's this retaining wall. We've already raked all these pine needles. This was covered. This looks down into my backyard. So I'm gonna go down there. So we had to rake more pine needles out from under the deck and this, I don't know, this area here. All of this backyard was covered. It kind of slopes down. We've already done all of this. You can see our burn pit in the middle of the yard there. And then we have this kind of wooded area. It's hard to tell in this light, but this is all covered in oak leaves, pine needles, pine cones, and we're responsible from here all the way to the road. So we haven't even touched this area yet. Here's another angle of the hill going up to my backyard that's covered in leaves. We have to do all of this. Comes around the side of my house, up to the front. Can you see this craziness? I mean, this pile, this used to be like a ditch for rain, but it's so, so deep in pine needles and leaves that you can't even see the ditch anymore. So all the way back around up to my deck and to the burn pile. So we have done a tiny bit of yard work with tons more to go.